Hey everyone, welcome to 5 Minutes With. I'm your host, Natalie Bencivenga, and this week we are taking a little trip to Texas. That's right. I am so excited for everyone to meet my next guest, Belinda Carr. She is an architectural designer, and she is also the host of her own YouTube show focusing on emerging trends and products disrupting the architecture and construction world. It is so nice to have you with me today.
Great to be here. Thank you for so much for organizing this and setting it up.
Oh, absolutely. So I can't take the credit on discovering your amazing show. My husband was the one that fell in love with what you were doing. And so when I started watching your work myself, I was totally intrigued by your story and your journey. So if you could tell everybody just a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I was born and brought up in Dubai, lived there for 23 years along. My parents still live there. My sister actually was the first person to come to the States. Moved here to do her MBA at the University of Virginia. And I followed in her footsteps a year or two later to my Master's of Architecture. So I did my bachelor's back in the UAE and then moved here. And so that was 9 years ago. And that's where I met my husband in school. And I've stayed here since then. So soon after graduating in 2014, after graduating in 2014, I got a job at a typical architecture firm. And I felt stuck. I wasn't happy going down the expected route, getting all your hours in, your IDP, it's like training hours in to get your license. And I felt like a CAD monkey. I felt like I could do more after 8 years of education. And I didn't want to be stuck behind a computer and just drafting all day long. I wanted to do more. So very soon after graduation, so in 2016, I decided to start my own business and venture outside the architecture world, see what else was out there, and maybe carve my own path if I couldn't find a precedent that I could follow. And that's when I started the YouTube channel to gain my confidence, because I'm an introvert by nature, as are most architects and designers. So this YouTube channel has helped me learn something new every single day, package it up into something understandable, and present it out there for people and myself to refer to in the future. Because I can't store all that information in my head. So it's a way for me to make it understandable. And it's a way for me to grow as a person, grow my knowledge, and just meet new, interesting people all around the world. And I wouldn't have been able to meet all the fascinating people in New Zealand and Europe and all that if it wasn't for this YouTube venture.
Yeah. And how many people now are following you on your YouTube adventure?
57,000 subscribers.
That's incredible. So when you started this journey, did you anticipate that kind of a response to your work?
Absolutely not. I've been adamant not to call myself a YouTuber because of all the negative connotations that go along with that phrase. I just wanted it to be a way to maybe supplement my income, but a way to market myself. And I see this as, like, I call it my digital portfolio. Everyone has this like 2-page printout of your CV or your resume, but I have something else that maybe sets me apart from other architects or designers. And so I did not expect this at all.
So what really intrigued me in particular, you've done some really interesting shows, and I wouldn't consider myself somebody that's really that overly interested in architecture. So what captured my attention and what I think you've done so well is you've really grounded the work in that of equity and justice. And one of your conversations was around the glamorization of poverty. And I thought that was really fascinating. And I would love if you could explain what that means and how you were relating your work and the work that you see out in the communities around the country to glamorizing being in poverty.
Sure. So the reason I was making that video, because I think I was kind of following the shipping container routes that I was already on. And like, as an architect or an architecture student, many of our thesis projects in architecture schools are about solving homelessness or disaster shelters. And it now coming into the real world and making all these videos, talking to people, it's made me realize that theory is so different from practice. We can design all these hypothetical buildings, master plans to solve homelessness, and it's just completely disconnected from reality. We never talk to people in this situation to ask them what they want. And that's what I was talking about in the glamorization of poverty, because the point I bring up in the video is all these tiny homes that we have HGTV shows rising tiny homes, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's like I say in the video, it's opened up a whole new market, created tons of jobs, and generated new interest and new enthusiasm in the design field and construction field. It's encouraged people to build their own homes. It's empowered them. But at the same time, it is glamorizing poverty in a way that we still look down on people living in trailer parks and call trailer trash. But we put people who live in tiny homes on a pedestal. We say that they have done something different. They have set themselves apart. We have to look up to them. But what's the difference? Why do we have to look down on one person and praise another? So I think that was the point I was trying to convey in the video.
Have you ever received any backlash or negative responses to any of your videos on YouTube? Putting yourself out there.
Yeah? Oh yeah, absolutely. But how do I say this? You'd never meet those kind of people in real life.
Right.
They're bots who aren't actual real people, or they're people who hide behind the computers and get some sort of gratification by hurling abuse at you. You, at the end of the day, I've realized that the positive feedback is much greater than the negative. It's just that the negative is a lot louder.
Yeah.
So I have to, it's this last year has helped me grow a lot. Has helped me not take things personally and just brush things aside. And I'm not trying to, as long as I know that I'm not personally attacking someone, doing this, what I'm doing is for me to learn. It's for me to convey an idea. It's for me to grow as a person and hopefully spread the idea of constructive criticism and critical thinking. That's what I'm trying to do in my channel. I'm trying to make educational videos. As long as I go down that path and not hurt people, then I don't have to feel guilty about what I'm doing, and I don't have to think twice about the negative feedback I get. If it's constructive negative feedback, absolutely, I take that into consideration. But
what do you think about when you're creating these videos? Why was it important for you to be disrupting this space online?
I felt like I had more to offer. And it kind of snowballed. I got into this momentum just kept building up. And when I made one video, I got like a dopamine release, and I had this like a confirmation that I can offer more to the world. I can grow more as a person. And then I just made another video, and I hope to keep growing. Like, the stuff I make tomorrow is going to be hopefully better than the stuff I make today. So
as we wrap up this 5 minutes, it was funny when I was learning more about you, I stumbled upon the fact that you have a Pittsburgh connection, which of course, the running joke in the world is anywhere you go, you can meet somebody with a Pittsburgh connection. We go all the way to Texas, and here we are, and we're connecting over Pittsburgh. Can you talk a little bit about, you did a video on the Cary furnace, you've been to Pittsburgh. What are your impressions of this city?
Sure. So after I graduated from Cincinnati, I worked at a company in San Francisco that had a sister office or main head office in Pittsburgh. And the first time I visited Pittsburgh, and I visited the Falling Water House, which is an absolute dream come true for any designer or architect who worships that house in architecture school. And we learned all about it, the details of it and everything. And then 2 years ago, my husband and I did a road trip from Philadelphia to Harrisburg and Gettysburg, and then all the way to Pittsburgh. And yes, I visited the Cary blast furnaces. and it was very exciting, and it was inspirational how the city has transformed from one prime well, what I'm trying to say is that they had one predominant industry, the steel manufacturing. Everything, 90% of people I think there were in Pittsburgh because of steel.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that happened because of the pollution, the soot, um, and then there was a big crash when jobs moved elsewhere. But revitalized downtown, they have kept the old school charm, and they have kind of transformed itself into like a more diverse industry now. And yeah, so I really appreciate my time in Pittsburgh and
Well,
Pennsylvania.
we really appreciate all the good things that you're saying about our town too. So thank you so much, Belinda. This was so much fun. I hope you will come back and update us on all of the amazing things that you are working towards disrupting in your industry. I think your videos are so interesting. They're educational and they're really inspiring, and get people to think a little bit outside the box when it comes to how we can build more sustainably as we move towards a future that's better for all of us. So thank you for spending a little bit more than 5 minutes with me.
Thank you so much.